My name is Officer Jake Harlan, and I've been patrolling the streets of suburban America for over a decade. You know the type. Those cookie-cutter neighborhoods where the lawns are greener than envy and the picket fences hide more drama than a reality TV show. I live in Willow Creek Estates, a gated community in the heart of Texas, where the Homeowners Association rules with an iron fist wrapped in a velvet glove of passive-aggressive newsletters. It's the kind of place where folks argue over mailbox colors and Christmas lights timing. Me? I'm just trying to keep the peace, both on the job and off. But let me tell you, nothing prepared me for the showdown with Karen Whittaker, the self-appointed queen of the HOA. It all started about 6 months ago when I moved into Willow Creek. Fresh off a divorce, I needed a quiet spot to lick my wounds. The house was a steal, 3 bedrooms, a backyard big enough for my German Shepherd, Max, and close enough to the precinct that I could roll out of bed and into my squad car in under 10 minutes. The squad car was my pride and joy, a sleek black and white Ford Interceptor decked out with lights, sirens, and all the bells and whistles that scream authority. I parked it in my driveway most nights, right under the street lamp, because who in their right mind would mess with a cop's ride? Enter Karen. She was the HOA president, a wiry woman in her mid-50s with a peroxide blonde bob that looked like it could deflect bullets. Karen drove a pristine white SUV, volunteered at every community event just to boss people around, and had a knack for turning minor infractions into federal cases. Her husband, Bob, was a retired accountant who mostly nodded along while she ranted about community standards. I'd heard the rumors. She'd fined old Mrs. Jenkins for having a garden gnome that was too whimsical, and once called animal control on a kid's pet rabbit because it looked feral. My first run-in with her was innocuous enough. I was mowing my lawn on a Saturday morning when she pulled up in her SUV, clipboard in hand. "Officer Harlan," she said, her voice dripping with that fake Southern sweetness, "I notice your grass is a tad overgrown. Our bylaws state it must be no taller than 2 inches. I wiped sweat from my brow and forced a smile. "Ma'am, I just measured it this morning. It's 1 3/4. But thanks for the concern." She pursed her lips. "Well, just remember, we're all in this together. Oh, and about that squad car, it's a bit imposing. Some residents feel it's lowering property values." I chuckled. "It's my work vehicle, Karen. Keeps the burglars away." She didn't laugh. Instead, she jotted something on her clipboard and drove off. That was the beginning. Over the next few weeks, the notes started arriving. First, a polite reminder about my recycling bins being visible from the street. Then, a warning about Max barking too loudly during his evening Zoom eyes. I ignored most of them, figuring it was just HOA busy work. But Karen escalated. One evening, I came home from a double shift to find a bright pink violation notice taped to my front door. "Unauthorized commercial vehicle parked in residential driveway. Fine, $200. Commercial vehicle? My squad car. I crumpled the paper and tossed it in the trash. No way was I paying that. The next day, I swung by the precinct and mentioned it to my chief, Tom Ramirez. Chief Ramirez was a no-nonsense guy, built like a linebacker with a mustache that could star in its own Western. He'd been on the force for 30 years and had zero tolerance for civilian meddling. "That's bullshit, Jake," he growled over coffee. "Your car's official police property. Tell her to pound sand." I did just that. At the next HOA meeting, held in the community clubhouse that smelled like stale cookies and desperation, I stood up during the open forum. "Karen, with all due respect, my squad car isn't a commercial vehicle. It's law enforcement equipment. The fine's invalid." The room went silent. Karen adjusted her glasses, her face turning a shade of red that matched her lipstick. "Our bylaws are clear, officer. No exceptions. If you don't comply, we'll have it towed." The crowd murmured. A few neighbors nodded in agreement, probably the ones she'd bullied before. I sat down, fuming. This wasn't over. Sure enough, 2 days later, it happened. I was out on patrol, busting a speeder on the interstate, when my phone buzzed with a text from my neighbor, Mr. Patel. "Dude, they're towing your cop car." I forwarded back to Willow Creek, sirens blaring. By the time I arrived, the tow truck was hooking up my Interceptor. Karen stood there, arms crossed, directing the driver like she was conducting an orchestra. "That's it right there. Make sure it's secure." "What the hell is this?" I shouted, jumping out of my unmarked car. Karen didn't flinch. Enforcing the rules, officer. You were warned. The tow guy, a burly dude named Lenny from the local impound, looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, this is a police vehicle. You sure about this? Absolutely, she snapped. It's in violation. I flashed my badge. Lenny, unhook it now. This is official property. He hesitated, glancing between us. Karen waved her clipboard. I have authorization from the HOA board. Tow it. Lenny sighed and continued. I watched in disbelief as my squad car was hauled away, lights and all, to the impound lot downtown. Neighbors peeked from their windows, phones out, recording the spectacle. By evening, it was all over the local Facebook group. HOA, Karen tows cop's car. Epic fail? I was livid, but instead of exploding, I played it smart. I called Chief Ramirez and laid it out. She towed my squad car, Chief. Official police vehicle. There was a long pause, then a deep chuckle. Oh, this is gold, Jake. You know what that means? Enlighten me. Towing a police vehicle without proper authority? That's interference with official duties. But if we spin it right, grand theft auto. I blinked. Grand theft? That's a felony. Exactly. The car's valued over 10 grand. It's government property, and she orchestrated the removal. We can make a case for theft by conversion. It was a stretch, but in Texas, where everything's bigger, including the egos and the laws, we had precedents. Chief Ramirez loved a good power play, especially against busybodies who thought they were above the badge. We hatched the plan over beers that night. First, I filed an official report, vehicle theft. The squad car was logged as stolen from my residence. Then, we subpoenaed the tow records. Lenny spilled everything. Karen had called the impound personally, claiming it was an abandoned vehicle. Big mistake. Abandoned? It had department plates and decals. The next morning, I retrieved my car from the lot. No fees, thanks to the badge. But Karen? She was about to get a wake-up call. Word spread fast in Willow Creek. Karen doubled down, sending out an email blast regarding the recent towing incident. The HOA stands by its decision to maintain community aesthetics. Officer Harlan's vehicle was in clear violation. That sealed it. Chief Ramirez pulled strings with the DA's office. We built the case. Unauthorized removal of a motor vehicle valued at over $30,000. The Interceptor's full kit price, with intent to deprive the owner, the police department, of its use. In legal terms, it fit grand theft auto under Texas Penal Code Section 31.03. Theft of property over $2,500. 2 days later, we executed the arrest warrant. I insisted on being there, parked my reclaimed squad car right